Now, everyone, it's time to spread a bit of movie cheer.
Welcome to the Movie Cheer Podcast, the show for movie fans. I am your host, AP, aka Mr. Movie Cheer, and on today's edition of the Movie Cheer Pod, I will be discussing 90s movie room tech versus 2000s movie room tech, putting them two eras, 2 decades of movie room tech up against each other, just really comparing, sharing stories, my own personal experiences, how I feel about them now, and just a general chit chat about that. So I thought it'd be a really good headline topic to discuss today on the show. But if that will be today's headline topic. As always, we've got plenty of other movie-related content and discussions. So before we get to today's headline topic, I like to start the show off with a segment called What's Been on the Screen.
What's been on the screen? The screen. What's been on the screen?
What's been on the screen? What have I been watching over this past week, ladies and gents? Well, I have watched the new trailer, the trailers for the new Ghostbusters movie. So there's a new Ghostbusters movie coming out March 22nd, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. This is a sequel to the last one, Ghostbusters Afterlife. And, this is one where it's bringing back pretty much the majority of that cast from that movie, Paul Rudd, all the younger cast members, and it's also bringing back the returning cast members from the original movies as well, the original 2 movies, who did feature in Afterlife briefly at the end. So really, we don't know whether it's going to be a similar sort of thing with this one, or whether they're going to feature, your Bill Murrays, your Dan Aykroyds throughout. I think Ernie Hudson and Dan Aykroyd will probably appear more than Bill Murray. I think Bill Murray might be kind of like a bit at the end where he comes and joins. I can't see Bill Murray doing the full movie personally. I just don't think he would do the full movie. I think like Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson. I may be wrong. It'd be great if he did do the full movie, but it's basically this movie is the premise of it from the 2 trailers, and I want to get to the trailers in a moment. Dan Aykroyd's character finds this, like, he owns this like oddity shop, like where they sell all weird relics and stuff like that, and he gets brought this egg, this sort of like egg relic. It looks like a golden egg, or a rusty old golden egg, and basically then this egg freezes up and it releases these ghosts in this frozen empire of these evil, I think they call them full bore ghosts, and they're here to like strike fear into New York and into the world, to destroy the world. And there's like the threat of a new ice age. So that's the premise, and the Ghostbusters obviously have got to save the day. The young Ghostbusters, the new team and the old team, they're joining up, so it's like a mega team. It's like an Avengers assemble of Ghostbusters in this movie. But I want to talk about the 2 trailers. So, first of all, I watched the first trailer come up. I was watching it just on YouTube, and so I remember hearing about this movie a while back, and I was looking forward to it. I liked Afterlife; I thought it was a good film, and I heard that they were doing the sequel, Frozen Empire, and then I just scanning through YouTube as you do, and it just pops up, Sony Sony Entertainment, the YouTube channel, the official trailer for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Now, this was the US trailer I watched first of all, and I watched it and I thought, you know what, it looked okay, but I just felt like it was just a bit, felt a bit of a mismatch of a trailer. It felt like it was kind of like a bunch of clips put together rather than a trailer telling, I think good trailers really just they tease the movie, but they really, they show you a bit of the movie and they show you the good bits, but then there's kind of like an element to the trailers, a bit of a movie itself, and it's kind of like engaging you into that movie to kind of want to watch it. The US trailer really just felt like a bunch of clips from the movie and just felt all over the place. There's parts here, and you kind of couldn't really get a feel of what like the story was going to be and whether this was going to be something you would enjoy. That was the way I felt. And then I saw that there was the international trailer, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to see if it's any different. It was roughly, I think it's like 10 seconds less, so I thought maybe it could be the same, sometimes they're slightly different. And I watched the international trailer, which was released at pretty much the same time, and the international trailer, it was night and day, and you could say, it's very similar clips they're using, but I think just the way they used it, I think like you had Ernie Hudson doing like a voiceover, I think worked really well, and the story kind of like fed into like what the kind of story you're gonna get, and I think it worked a lot better than the US trailer, and it felt like a lot less like a bunch of clips thrown together, and it felt like more you got to feel what the story was, and some of the elements I really enjoyed from that international trailer, it felt like there was some of the dark moments at the end of the trailer when there's like the young girl, her eyes get frozen, and you see their main villain for this movie. And I've got to feel like Stranger Things. It felt like they maybe I know like one of the cast members is from Stranger Things, and it's not just because of that, but I felt like they were kind of like the effects, the fear factor, the the visuals kind of got a vibe like Stranger Things. Maybe they'd thrown in some of them elements. I suppose you could say Stranger Things was, inspired by Ghostbusters as well, so it's kind of one and the same, really. But I got a feel of that, a vibe of that, and I really liked it because I'm a big fan of Stranger Things. So I'm not the biggest Ghostbusters fan. I didn't grow up with Ghostbusters. I was never, I liked the films, but I was never, they didn't strike movie cheer into me. They were, they were fun movies. I always say Men in Black was my Ghostbusters, personally, for me. But I liked the films, I liked Afterlife, and I'm looking forward to watching this. I think maybe I'm going to become a Ghostbusters fan. I'm going to be one of those guys who's got like a proton pack on display and like the jumpsuit and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I'm hoping, it's with these, Afterlife was very good, very well done movie. Very different from the original Ghostbusters movies. I think this one's now set in New York. They're probably going for more of a vibe of the originals, but I think the best sticking to what they were doing well with Afterlife, because Afterlife was a fantastic film, and I think as much as I like the combo of the new and old cast, but I do think they got the. I think they've got a really good cast members of the younger cast there, and I think it's just grow from that. Paul Rudd's in there. I think Paul Rudd's a great addition cast-wise. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it personally. I think it's going to be a fun film. Like I said, I think it looks like a film. It's got a bit of everything. Slimer's in there as well, so that'll be good. But yeah, Frozen Empire, definitely. What do you think of the trailers? The international, the US trailer? I personally watched them both and let me know what your thoughts are. I think the US trailer was a lot worse than the international. I think the international trailer was really a solid trailer. What else are we going to talk about? What else has been on my screen this past week? Well, I have finally got round to watching Transformers Rise of the Beast, released in 2023. Rise of the Beast is set in the 90s, 1994. I think they're kind of like rebooting the Transformers movies now. This one takes inspiration from the Beast Wars TV show, animated show, and toy line of the 90s, early 2000s probably. And it's basically like a bit of a reset, but they acknowledge stuff from like the Bumblebee movie a bit, like a kind of like a little nod. But it's set, and it's I've only watched a couple of the Transformers movies. I've never been a massive Transformers fan, if I'm being honest. Running trend here. Never been a massive Ghostbusters fan. Never been a massive Transformers fan. It's just never been my thing. I watched a few of them movies. Some of them were okay, and then I just I think I remember watching one. I think it was maybe the second one. I thought it was absolutely awful, and I just kind of thought, what, I'm kind of done with this. And I've watched bits and pieces of the other ones. I've not watched them all in full, like the Mark Wahlberg ones. They looked okay. Bumblebee was not amazing. It wasn't awful, but it wasn't brilliant. But then I thought, I'll give this a chance, because I remember having some of them Beast Wars toys as a kid and really enjoying them. And I thought it's the animal Transformers, the Maximals they call them. And I thought, let's see what this movie is about. So, like I said, it's set in 1994. You have the Beast Wars characters, the Maximals, so they're transforming from like gorillas to Autobots, to Transformers, and like cheetahs and falcons. Then you also have the Autobots, Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Mirage, a few of them other characters. I'm not going to name them all because I don't know them all. And they combine up to take on. So I'll be honest, I hear a lot of these names, and so I get lost in these names. It's like Unicron, Megatron, Optimus Prime, Maximals. There's so many different names, and for me, who's not a fan of this franchise, I kind of get lost in these names, so I have to write some of them down. So apparently, in this film, Unicron is this planet eater evil villain. So it's trying to destroy planets. It's trying to destroy Earth. Him Unicron is just like this planet eater. So he sends down his like sort of like his generals to try and track down this key that can help destroy the planets and stuff like that. So basically, they've got to protect this key. This is the whole story, and this key is the only way that Optimus Prime and his gang of Transformers can get back to their home world of Cybertron, is it? And basically, that's the story, and it combines with the human story. You've got this character called Noah, who's like this ex-army guy who can't get a job, can't catch any luck, and he, teams up with the Transformers with the character Mirage. He ends up like stealing the car, and I will say there was going to be spoilers here ahead, but I feel like it's been out for a while. There's now so spoilers for this movie, but he teams up with them, and then they take on the villains of this, and then you have the Maximals join the fight at the end as well, and you have Optimus Primal. It's a gorilla who takes his name from Optimus Prime because he was inspired by Optimus Prime. I think that's awesome. And you see, look, first of all, this movie was super fun. I'm really shocked by how much I enjoy this. My favourite Transformers experience of watching a movie by far. Superb film. And I didn't really hear too much about this movie to any good vibes or bad vibes. It was kind of, I didn't really hear much. I heard about some of the stuff that happens in the movie, which I will get to in a moment. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it was a really great story. I like the fact they go to Peru, so like a lot of the major battle is in like this just grassy area where there's no city landscape. So, humans don't actually know about the Transformers. They don't see the battles. It's all kept hidden away in this like jungle sort of location in Peru. The end battle. And the end battle, wow, the end battle was phenomenal. It kind of had vibes of like Endgame with the Transformers just like all come back, teaming up the Maximals, the Autobots taking on the villains. And I love that part when I think Optimus Primal says, Maximals, maximize, or something like that, and then they all transform into the robot version. So they go from the animal versions, the animal robot versions, to the sort of like alt transformer versions, and it's so cool, that scene. And honestly, it's like a 10-15 minute battle scene, and I didn't get bored or think, oh, this is getting dull at any moment. The music, it went from orchestral to like a sort of like an actual song, and then back to the orchestral music, and it just was really well done, the battle scenes. I didn't at any point get bored. I was like, this is amazing. This is like really fun to watch, and I really enjoyed it. And and then you see what I liked as well, this character of Noah. He has this character, this Transformer Mirage, who he's friends with, and Mirage is, he's getting beaten down, and then he says, you're going to have to take the wheel. And he transforms over Noah's body into like an Iron Man suit, and then Noah, this ex-army guy who's teaming with the Transformers, is taking on, all the villains as well in this Iron Man-like suit, and he's teaming with the Transformers, and then, they beat the villains, they save the world, and, the happy ending. At the end of the story, I'm going to get to the end of the story now, there's a tease at the very end, pre-credits it is, so it's where Noah's going for a new job at this, like, security firm. And then it gets, he's the guy who's interviewing me. He's asking him like, "What experience have you had recently, and where have you been?" And he's like, "I've been South America." And he says, "Oh, what kind of work is that?" And then he's like, "Oh, nothing much." And he said, and then he starts. The guy who's interviewing him, he says, "So it was in Peru." And he's like, "How did you know it was Peru?" And then he's like, "Well, I know a lot about you. I know about you and the big guys." And so this guy knows about obviously, this was a secret battle in the middle of nowhere, but this guy knows about the battle who's interviewing Noah. And Noah's like, what's going on here? You FBI? You CIA? And then he reveals, we're recruiting. We're going to pay your brother's health bills because his brother's not well at the start of the movie. And we're recruiting. We need you and the big guys for a battle because we're fighting a battle on our own front. And the recruitment is, I heard about this prior to watching this, but I thought the scene was really well done. I really enjoyed it. It's a G.I. Joe team up. So Hasbro own Transformers and G.I. Joe. It's Hasbro's film line now. They own Power Rangers as well, I'm pretty sure. So there's room for a Power Rangers link up maybe further along the line. But yeah, they're gonna do they show on the card, and then it's like the walls started opening up, and you see like all the G.I. Joe people and all like the tanks, the weaponry, and it looks awesome. I love that tease. They're obviously teasing Noah to become a member of G.I. Joe. They're also teasing a G.I. Joe Transformers team-up movie, which I am all in for. I love the Transformers movies. I love the G.I. Joe movies, and I think it'll be cool because kind of the G.I. Joe movies feel like they're up in the air over the past few, like, because they've not done like massively well. I don't think like people have taken. I've really enjoyed them, but they're not. I don't think like the beloved. It's like a beloved franchise, the movies anyway. But I think teaming it with Transformers, we're gonna get more G.I. Joe, which is great. So I'm down for that. So overall, though, Rise of the Beast really surprised me. Really a great action movie. Great, very entertaining. Some great scenes. Very enjoyable indeed. I want to talk finally now. Bit of sad news coming out in the world of movies this week. That Carl Weathers, aka Apollo Creed, passed away this past week. Rest in peace, Carl Weathers. I just want to talk about some of his movies. I'm not going to go too deep into each and every movie. He passed away this week. He was 76 years old, which I think is incredibly young nowadays. I think people go on to live to like late 90s, even hundreds these days. But Carl, let's celebrate Carl Weathers. I think that's a great thing to do. Carl Weathers, like I said, Apollo Creed and the Rocky movies, 4 Rocky movies, Predator, Grief Karga in Mandalorian. I've just got to say, obviously he's done many more movies, but these are the movies for a lot of people, are notable movies for myself as well. And I'm sure over the years I'm going to find more Carl Weathers movies and be like, that is an awesome movie. But for me, it's got to be Rocky. Apollo Creed, that character is fantastic. I'm a big fan of the Rocky movies. For me, that was in rotation with like the likes of Star Wars growing up. Rambo, Rocky, they were just in rotation for me, with the Lion King mixed in as well. And I loved it. And what's great about Rocky and Apollo Creed, that character, he goes from the first movie to being this arrogant champion, very, very charismatic, who fights Rocky, this underdog, and then it's pretty much undecided, and in the second movie everyone's doubting him, and all that charisma has kind of been sucked dry. He's kind of like, I think there's a scene where he says something like, I'm paraphrasing here, but he's like, I think he says like, I beat him, but I didn't beat him, or something like that, or I think it's like, I won the fight, but I didn't beat him. And I remember he's like, his wife saying to him, like, he's in like a rut, he's like sitting in his living room, and he's just like, just sitting there and just in an absolute grump, and he's really angry at the fact that people are doubting him as a champion, making out that Rocky is the better fighter, and he can't come to terms with that. And then we have that fight at the end again, Rocky 2, which is great. Rocky 3, he then becomes the friend to Rocky, the trainer. So he goes from the charismatic one first movie, the villainous role, kind of a bit more of a harder enemy for Rocky in the second movie. The third movie becomes a friend and a trainer, and then obviously the fourth movie, you see the demise of that character. You see him go back into the ring and trying to relive his glory days from the first movie, and he sadly loses his life in that movie. Apollo Creed's the character Apollo Creed dies, and then we have that legacy then of the follow up, the Creed movies of his son, the character of his son in them Creed movies. So such a legacy there. Mandalorian, he's great in the Mandalorian and Predator. Yet rest in peace, Carl Weathers, fantastic actor, great, done some directing work as well in the recent Mandalorian series. So rest in peace. What a career, what a guy, what an actor. Sad day for movie fans indeed. But that is what's been on the screen this week, ladies and gents. Now let's move on to today's headline topic.
The Movie Cheer Podcast presents the headline topic for the episode.
Remember to spread a bit of
headline topic. Headline topic.
Remember to spread a bit of movie cheer.
So today's headline topic, 90s movie room tech versus the noughties, the 2000s movie room tech. Discussing how I feel about both of them, my experiences with them, the comparisons, and just looking back how we feel about them now, in 2024 filming this episode. And so let's start with my experience of 90s movie room tech. I grew up in the 90s and the early noughties, early 2000s. 90 movie room tech, for me, I look back at that and I think, what do I think of 90s movie room tech? What do I think of it? I think, for me, it's like the big TVs were, you had the big backs on them, where it the big fat backs of TVs, none of them slim TVs, and VHS, the quality of VHS, even just like that whole experience, it was just all bulk, wasn't it? And then I look back to the storage of the movie room content. It wasn't back then. It wasn't slim DVD cases. It wasn't streaming. It was big. What we had in the 90s, the VHS. For me, I didn't have Laserdisc. I didn't have anything like that. It was VHS for me, video. I'm sure a lot of people were the same back in the 90s. And for me, my experiences were, my movie room experience in the 90s was, I say movie room, but it would have been the living room. But having the wall, I've said this before, like a wall of VHS, and it felt like I remember, you have memories of things, and then you kind of don't know whether it's like you remember it right, but I know it was exactly like that because VHS was so big, and we had a really decent sized collection. My dad used to go car boots and used to bring VHS and get them cheap, and we used to have like a wall of VHS, and I remember it especially I think as when you're a kid as well, when you're smaller and you see like big shells, they seem a lot bigger as well. And I remember it just felt like when you see films where you see like them libraries where it's like wall to wall of books. And I remember we had like dark mahogany bookcases at the time, and it was just wall to wall of VHS, and it was unreal. And probably in comparison to what I have even behind me now on DVDs, there probably weren't half as many, but it felt like there was more because it was literally probably like three or four bookcases full of video, and it was unreal. And like I said, it was, as a little kid, you're looking up and you're like, wow, this is a lot, isn't it? And it was mesmerizing. And like and especially when you go to like the video shop as a kid, and then you see all them, and then you come home and you're like, wow, I've actually got quite a lot here as it is. And it was awesome, absolutely awesome. I loved it, and it was unreal. But the quality, what can I say about the quality? The video, you put the video in. Oftentimes I wouldn't rewind it from the last time I'd watched the movie, so you put it in, you had to stop it, rewind the video, and then start the movie. And then you had all the advertisements at the start of the movies. You'd skip through, you're fast forwarding it through, and then you get to the movie, and then you watch the movie on your big TV. Like I said, when I say big, I don't mean like wide TV. I mean physically like heavy, big, like big back. I don't know if they're all classed as like CRT TVs or whatever you class them as, but like just like the big bulky TVs from the 90s. And like the widescreen wasn't a thing. It was full screen movies back then, and it was totally different. And obviously the quality back then, for me, the quality always felt great watching it. I enjoy it. I always say, as long as you can experience the movie, the quality is good enough. And it's more about the movie you're watching. As long as the quality is good, that's great. I think looking back, I really enjoy the quality at the time. But then you do, like, over the years, you appreciate like the fact that when it, like, there was times with VHS where it would go fuzzy at times. And I remember like you'd be watching like an important scene of a movie, and it would break up, and you'd get like the static on the screen and stuff like that. And it was just like, oh man, I missed like a really important visual. And the fact of the matter is, with video, with VHS, once it's damaged, it's damaged. You can't do anything more with that. It's done. It's damaged the actual, like, the film on it. So Maybe there's some professional restorers out there who can restore stuff, but obviously on that level, as a kid, you can't restore that is video when it's it starts fuzzing up and it starts crackling, and that part of the movie is damaged. You just have to fast forward it or just grit your teeth and just go with it. So yeah, for me though, I had a lot of enjoyment from that. And now let's move on to the early 2000s. Well, the 2000s as a whole, the noughties, but looking at the early years of the 2000s. So for me then, like the 90s, then we moved into the 2000s. Movie room tech changed for a lot of people back then. So like it moved into then, like I said, we had the big bulky TVs. You moved into more of the flat screen TVs, which everyone has now. Bulky TVs are no longer a thing, which is it's bizarre how things change over the years. So yeah, the flat TVs, then we obviously widescreen TVs come in. DVD, this is the big one. DVD for me is unreal. Just such a leap in quality, a leap in everything. It was like I remember seeing the adverts on the videos, at the time, and it would be, advertised DVD, and you're like, I'm not keen. And you kind of thinking this is just maybe just a little fad. It's like there's no way video is going to end, VHS is going to end, and they're going to be taken over by this disc. And that's what you're thinking at the time. And then suddenly you're realizing everyone is getting on the bandwagon for DVD, and everyone is getting rid of the VHS. Not everyone, but the majority of people are getting rid of the VHS, going for DVD. And as a family, that's what we did. We ended up going slowly. I don't know if it was a kind of like a case where I always forget like how it happened now because it's such a long time ago. But I remember obviously getting a DVD player, first DVD player, and I remember going Asda, and we got like, I think it was like 2 for free on DVDs or something like that, or 2 for £5, or 2 for not 2 for £5, definitely not back then. I think it was like you get like so many movies, and I remember because I've still got some of them in the collection. I've got the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, that Sergio Leone trilogy, Clint Eastwood trilogy. I remember as well, and I've got rid of some of them now, the movies, but I remember getting like the Royal Rumble. I think it might have been like the 2003 or 2004 Royal Rumble. It was one where Triple H was on the front cover, and I remember getting that from Asda as well. I remember getting Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire. And it just really, I remember getting them DVDs and them being the first ones, and just being like mesmerized by, first of all, menus, like menu options, because obviously video, you didn't have menus on them. That was really weird. And then obviously the bonus content was I've not even got to the quality yet, but the bonus content of the movies, you get behind the scenes stuff, which I'd never had before. The only sort of behind the scenes stuff I remember on VHS was the Thriller, Michael Jackson Thriller music video VHS. And let me know if you remember this one. But I remember if you had the VHS back then, I think it might have been either a separate VHS or it was on the same. So you had the music video, and then at the end or the start of it, it showed the making of that music video and all like the zombies getting created and all like the choreography. And I used to watch that as a kid because I thought it was really interesting. And seeing the bonus material available on DVD then was such a brilliant thing for me. I loved it. And even to this day, I love watching bonus content, seeing the behind the scenes stuff. I mean, for me, the big ones are like your big hitters, your Star Wars, your Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is phenomenal for the bonus content and the making of that movie. Just to see behind the scenes, the sets, the characters, just how they made their movies. It's great to see. But yeah, and then the quality of DVD was just such, first of all, the quality keeps up. It doesn't fuzz. I mean, fair enough, if you get a scratch on it, it will fuzz at times, but it wasn't the grading, the dip of quality throughout the movie. You notice that on VHS over time. It wasn't like that on DVD, and DVD still to this day holds up, I think, personally. That's why I'm a big advocate of DVD. I really enjoy DVD. So it's, like I said, flat screens, widescreen, DVD, getting rid of that, that movie collection. I remember taking that movie collection, the VHS movie collection. We sold it down to the local market, and we got at the time was like maybe 50p a pound a video, and it was good value at the time what we were getting. And it was sad to do it because we had such a brilliant collection, but we were all in on DVD, and it was like, you know what, we're not going to do both. We're just going to go for DVD, and that's then moving forward. We start and build that collection, and and a lot of people were the same. Went from there, and still to this day, I collect DVD, and that's why I enjoy DVD. But the benefits, the comparisons, I think kind of acknowledged it with a lot of spoken about there, but I think the two big points for me are space and quality. So first of all, saving space, because like I said, I had growing up, it was 3-4 bookshelves, and these were tall, from top to bottom, ceiling bookshelves of VHS, and then compare that to what I have behind me now. Here, I've probably got a couple hundred DVDs. If they were all VHS, I would probably need 3 or 4 bookshelves now of top to ceiling, bottom to ceiling DVD of VHS to fit that many in. So the space saving aspect of DVD is brilliant, and even with this, I don't even have to have this. I've got like I said, I've got the wallets, the DVD wallets, where I keep some DVDs in there, and I've got a couple hundred in there as well. And again, you couldn't do that with VHS. You can't put a VHS in a wallet. it wouldn't, it's the size of the case. The VHS, it's so big. So the space saving is a big one, and I think for me now, I think I've always said this on the channel. I love seeing people who've got other YouTube channels, other podcasters who've got a movie collection. They've got wall-to-wall movies and the movie room tours. I love watching them. For myself, though, I'm a bit OCD, and I like a bit of that minimalism look. And for me, I don't like clutter that much. I say that, I'm looking around the room I'm recording in now, and it is a bit messy. But I don't like wall-to-wall person. I feel a bit enclosed in sometimes, me personally. So I don't think I could have the VHS collection now. I don't think it would be good for me personally. So that is a big one. And the quality I got onto it already, but the quality it's night and day. If you compare DVD and VHS, they are such a contrasting quality. But I always say, like I said, if you can enjoy the movie and the quality is decent enough, if the VHS holds up and the quality holds up on a VHS, I think you can still enjoy a movie on that as well. But for me, DVD is, by far a superior quality of movie product. It's a media disc that really does hold up the test of time, and after continuous watches still holds up the quality. You don't have to rewind the movies, which is a convenience as well. I know it's a convenience, but it's so much easier just pressing play when you get to the menu. And then the added bonus of all the bonus material is such a big one as well. But what are my favourite parts looking back to both of these eras? I think, like I said, even though it would probably cause me a lot of OCD now, looking back, the memories for me are the wall-to-wall of videos. That is a great memory, and I wish I had some photos. I'm going to have to try and dig out some photos one day. But for me, they are memories in my mind that I really did it. For me, I enjoy a lot, and I don't really want to get into going to the video shop them experience, because I feel that's a separate topic. But the home movie room tech experience of the 90s, seeing the wall-to-wall of videos was just a really fun sight. I think to remember in my mind, it was good. And like I said, now I probably think it was too much, but I really enjoy it. I think you look at DVD now, and it's very small, space saving. I've got a convenient unit that closes up behind me. I don't see that, so I don't look at DVD like that. I don't have that nostalgia to think, oh, look at the DVD collection. I like looking at my DVD collection. I like looking at the physical movies, but I don't feel like that memory of looking at them, thinking, wow, that was a cool visual, a cool looking room. So yeah, they're definitely my favourite parts of it. And I think, again, looking at the bonus material on DVDs has always been something I've been fond of. And for me, even looking back and even up to now, in 2024, I still enjoy that bonus material. So I have a lot of nostalgia for that material on DVDs as well. So what would I like to embrace any of this in the future? Both of these decades, the noughties, the 90s, what era would I like to embrace more in the future in the movie room that I have now? I think, to be honest, I've said this before, but I've looked at different things, like looking at buying, the odd VHS, because I don't think I would personally buy a VHS player and play videos. Not to say, I never say never, but I think for me, I'd just like to decorate the room with a few of my favourite VHSs, videos, tapes and the covers, because I think the cover art is brilliant on some of them VHS and very different from the DVDs. So like the likes of Star Wars, like Masters of the Universe, some of the wrestling VHS from the past, which I really enjoy. I think some of them just having, again, it's a bit of a nostalgia kick, but I think I'd like to embrace some of that in the movie room. For me, I can't really look back at the noughties with stuff I'd like to embrace, because I think I'm still embracing it at this moment in time. DVDs I embrace because I really enjoy DVDs. I'm a big, again, this channel, I discuss DVDs. People say to me a lot of the time, are you collecting Blu-rays? Are you collecting 4Ks yet, AP? I'm like, you know what? Not at this moment in time. And I keep on saying, I will at some point. And, I keep on going back to the tree of, the well, if you like. The DVD is still great and still good. And that's why I'm still sticking with DVD at this moment in time. And like I said, never say never with moving to new content, new media types. But at the moment, I'm really happy. I'm happy with the collection I have, happy with the media format I have. And I think, it's always just about looking at what you have, embracing a bit of the stuff you enjoy, and just going from there and creating a movie room you really, really enjoy spending time in. So that's the main thing. But let me know some of your thoughts on this topic. The 90s movie room tech versus the 2000s movie room tech. What are your memories, your experiences from both of those eras, them decades? Let me know your thoughts on this, because I think so many people have got different experiences from whatever age they were, how they, at the time, and how they felt about that media format. And some people maybe didn't embrace DVD, or maybe didn't ever embrace VHS. So I just want to hear your memories on this. I think it's really cool to hear different types of memories from different people, because we've all got different experiences with both of these. So that is today's headline topic. Let's move on to Case Cover Collision.
Case covers take on other case covers. Can you handle that?
Case Cover Collision. Case Cover Collision.
Case Cover Collision. Each and every week I choose a different movie and look at the different case covers for that movie and put them up against each other on Case Cover Collision to find out which one is the best. So this week on Case Cover Collision, I will be discussing the case covers for the movie The Marvels, the new Marvel movie, the sequel to the Captain Marvel movie. I will say at this moment in time, I've not watched this movie, so it's one I'm definitely going to check out. I wasn't a big fan of the original Captain Marvel movie. It just wasn't for me personally, but I'll definitely check this one out. I've not really heard too much, but I've seen like the end credits scene, so I suppose spoilers for the end credits scene. Now we see X-Men, the X-Men universe link up with, we see Beast played by Kelsey Grammer in a CGI form with one of the characters from it's not Monica. Is it Monica Rambeau? Or is it a daughter? I always forget the name of the character. But her character, I'll just call her Rambeau because I can't remember the character's name. Again, I'm not really familiar with these characters that well. But her character is in a different universe with the X-Men characters. But I'm definitely going to check it out. But let's talk about the covers. So we've got a DVD case cover. We've also got the 4K and the 4K Steelbook. So first of all, we're going to look at the DVD. The DVD case cover, you have Captain Marvel here. You have Rambeau. Is it Miss Marvel, the young character from the Marvel TV show? Again, I've not seen that TV show. And then you have Nick Fury, Samuel Jackson's character. All, front and centre here. Captain Marvel's at the front, though. She is a bit more, like, in colour. You see the other ones are kind of in, like, a blue translucent colour a bit more. In the background, you see like this planet and you see all different blues, and it's kind of like a blue and red sort of look, a lot more blue than anything. In the background, then on the top of the screen, we have the Marvel's logo, very large logo. And behind Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel character, you see like this orange light going up towards the logo of the Marvels logo. So yeah, I like this. You know, you're looking at the suits. The suits are really cool. I think Rambo's character, again, is it Monica Rambo or is that her mother? But her character, her suit is like a Power Rangers suit. I think it looks really cool, very reminiscent of Power Rangers. I think, and the other two suits are really cool as well. I like all you see from all of them. They've got like, you know, a lot of like light and power coming from the hands and the fists, and you see all this power around them. It's a really cool looking cover. I like the look of it. I think it's you know, it's a science fiction movie from what I gather. So I think it's very much a sci-fi cover. So I like this. So DVD cover gets my approval. Let's look now at the Marvels 4K cover. And this movie, just say it's coming out physical on February the 19th. So let's look at the Marvels cover. This one is a lot more simplified, a lot less going on in the background. So you've got Rambo, Captain Marvel, and Ms. Marvel. Them three characters. Rambo's to the left, Ms. Marvel's to the right, Captain Marvel's at the front. They're all looking up in the distance. This time, a bit more of a mid-shot rather than a full shot this time as well of those characters. The background this time is a purple background with like a black fade to the outsides of the case. Then you've got the Marvel text. The Marvel's text this time, very similar text, a bit smaller above them again. And I think it just pops a bit more. I think I like there's like power coming through Captain Marvel's fists again, and it's like this electrical sort of like power, energy power, and it really pops on this cover. I really like the look of it. I think the purple as well really suits. I think it looks better because it's a lot less going on, a bit more simplified, a bit more minimalist, and I think this case cover really, really pops. So for me, so far, this 4K cover is winning the race on case cover collision. Now let's go to the 4K steelbook of this. This is available everywhere. It's available Amazon, Zavvi, and HMV. It's not an exclusive for anywhere. So this cover is a different cover again, very much with the purple theme. It's like a purple space background. Okay, purple space background. You see the stars in the distance, and then you see Captain Marvel. They're all like in cartoon form here. Captain Marvel, you see a full shot of her face side on, but it is like very much like transparent, her face. You just see the outlines of her and her face, a nose, of her eyes. Her eye is sparkling, like there's a power source coming from her eye, and she's looking side on to the left here. Then you've got Rambo and Miss Marvel. Them two characters, Miss Marvel's looking towards the camera, and Rambo is like looking in the distance as if she's in a battle. And again, they're very much transparent, going into the theme of the space background here, of this purple background. And again, it's a very different cover, and you see here at you don't see the Marvel's logo on the top this time. It is super tiny at the bottom of the screen. So they've switched it around, put it at the bottom, made it very small, like almost like you can't see it. You have to kind of like squint to see it, and you can't really see that. But it's a very different cover. I like what they're kind of going with. Again, a very science fiction kind of like comic book artwork cover here, what you would expect on like a comic book cover of a sci-fi comic. For me, I will say though, it just doesn't really pop as much as the other case covers. I just think it just looks a bit like low effort personally, this cover. It doesn't really do much for me personally. But yeah, that's my opinion of that. So which one is the winner of this week's edition of Case Cover Collision? I will say the winner of this week's Case Cover Collision is the 4K, standard 4K case cover. That cover really pops. I think it's a fantastic looking cover. It's just really, I love the energy coming out of the fists of Captain Marvel. I think they all look really crystal clear in this. It really looks like a solid looking cover. The purple behind them with the black fade looks really good. I think it pops there. It's a really good looking cover. I like this. So the winner of this week's Case Cover Collision is the Marvel's 4K standard case cover. So that's it for Case Cover Collision. Let's move on with the rest of the show.
The Amazon Top 10 is approaching. Prepare yourself. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The Amazon Top 10 has arrived.
The Amazon Top 10. Each and every week, I give you the Amazon Top 10 for bestsellers list for DVDs, Blu-rays, and 4Ks for Amazon.co.uk. So now let's look at the Amazon Top 10 list for this week, ladies and gents. So, first of all, we have at number 10, we have Downton Abbey: A New Era on DVD. At number 10. Number 9, we have Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1 on DVD. At number 8, we have Five Nights at Freddy's Blu-ray. Not seen that movie. Not seen Mission Impossible yet. That's at number 8. Five Nights at Freddy's Blu-ray. At number 7, we have The Marvels on DVD. The movie we discussed on Case Cover Collision this week. At number 6, we have Trolls Band Together on DVD. At number 5, we have Doctor Who: The Collection Season 15 on Blu-ray. At number 4, we have Oppenheimer on Blu-ray. Number 4, that is. At number 3, we have Barbie on DVD. At number 2, Oppenheimer takes the DVD spot for number 2. And at number 1, we have Five Nights at Freddy's DVD. So Five Nights at Freddy's is the reigning the Amazon Top 10 for this week, ladies and gents. Now let's move on to the final segment of today's show. Not so worthy Blockbuster Housekeeping. This is the part of the show we kind of just wind down, discuss what's going on in Movie Cheer Town, and just have a general chit chat at the end of the show. So, first of all, I want to say last week I put out the video, returning for 2024. Obviously, I took a break over December and January. I like to do that, just have a little break over the Christmas period and the start of the year. And it was nice. And I just want to say as well, the comments on that video were very, very nice and very kind from a lot of people out there in the community. So thank you very much. I very much appreciate the kind messages. So, and it's great to be back making content again. I'm really looking forward to this year. 2024, just really putting out some fun content, like I said in that video. I'm really looking forward to it and just getting involved with the community and getting more people involved with the podcast as well, which is great. So, yeah, thank you very much, guys. And I want to say as well, I've been discussing it with my buddy Ben, a.k.a. Rider-Rated18. Check him out on Instagram. Awesome guy. Me and Ben, we collaborated I think it was 2022 now, and we did a Laserdisc discussion. So we are talking about discussing having a collaboration again on the channel and doing another Laserdisc discussion. So I thought I'd put it out there because I've got a bunch of questions already for Ben, but I thought, you know what, I want to see if, the community, I'm going to put a post out about this as well. So if you want to, feel free to leave it in the comments or drop me a message or leave a comment in the post I put up. So we're looking for questions. If you want to have a particular question about Laserdisc collecting or just Laserdisc in general, your memories, just want to share some stories, or you want to, what we can discuss as well during that episode. And feel free to let us know. Drop them in the comments below. But yeah, we're just looking for more topics on that. I've got a bunch that I'm going to be sending over to Ben over the weekend, and yeah, we're hopefully going to be doing that episode, whether it's a live episode or a pre-recorded episode of Movie Cheer Town. Probably over the next month or two, we're gonna do something, because I think Ben's a top guy, and I really enjoyed the discussion last time we had. So he's got a really cool Laserdisc collection. Also, he's really knowledgeable of the format as well, which I am not. So it's always, for me, I find it really fun to just get that knowledge and hear stories of Laserdisc and hear more about the format. So it's really fun to hear. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, any topics you'd like to add to that, any questions for Ben that we can discuss on that episode, feel free to drop them in below. Also, I want to say, I've mentioned it on the episode last week, but the 10K, not 10K, well, we're not there yet. The 1K celebration live stream, I'm still planning it. It's trying to find out a format and what we're going to do with that. But the 1K live stream, celebrating 1,000 subscribers on the channel, which is still awesome to me. We're going to do something special about that, do a live stream of some sort, and we're going to come up with a format over the next month or so. So it's not forgotten, it's just it's in the works now. But it's great to be back anyway. I'm really enjoyed this episode today, getting back, a really great topic to discuss. And I think of a bit of a different topic for the show as well. We kind of always discuss kind of a movie-related one. doing a bit of a movie room, bit of a change, 2024, bit of a change in the format, maybe a bit more. Maybe you'll have a few more of these types of discussions. I think it's fun. I love talking about movie rooms and my memories of movie rooms from the past. I think it's really fun to have that nostalgia hit. I love it. So it's really a really fun episode. I really enjoyed today's episode, and it's been fun just getting back, discussing movies with you all. As always, I really enjoy. So yeah, thank you for joining me. So that's it for another episode, ladies and gents. If you enjoyed this episode today of the Movie Cheer Pod, please do give it a like if you're watching on YouTube, and leave a comment below of all your thoughts on today's topics. And if you're watching this, if you're listening to this on a podcast app of your choosing, please do subscribe to the podcast app and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. And obviously leave a 5-star review on the podcast app of your choice, because all the reviews help the Movie Cheer podcast and the Movie Cheer Town community to grow even more. So yeah, let me know all your thoughts on today's topics. 90s movie rooms versus 2000s movie rooms tech. Which is your favourite? What are your memories? What are your thoughts on some of the movies I discussed today? Transformers, Rise of the Beast. What do you think of that? The new Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire trailer. And also give me your memories of Carl Weathers, your favourite Carl Weathers performances in movies. Let me know all your thoughts on today's topics. Thank you very much for joining me for this episode, ladies and gents. Remember to spread a bit of movie cheer, and as always, I will see you next time.